Welcome back. In this video, I will be showcasing a base X to decimal converter. This is a companion to my previous decimal to base X converter. This requires the same input format that converter outputs. That's the sort of why they're linked. They're on the same GitHub repository. That link will be down in the description with a README that tells you how to use this if you don't feel like watching the video, as well as all the files. So let's go ahead and run the setup function. So if we do /function reverse conversion setup, we can see in the sidebar there we have a scoreboard that was set up as well as a storage space. Now to input values into this, you want to run data modify storage reverse convert main in set value, and then you want to input an array. We're going to input 42 in binary, so 101010. And then we can go ahead and run the function reverse conversion call. And as you can see in the sidebar here, we have an output of 42, which is what we inputted as an array in binary. Next, let's go ahead and input or change our base value. So if we do scoreboard players set base equals reverse conversion.num, and let's do 16. We'll convert a number from hex. Let's go ahead and input 80 in hex, so 8, 0. And then let's go ahead and run our function again. And as you can see, we have 128, which is what 80 is in hex. So that's how you operate this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the functions as well as talk about how it works. So here's our setup function. It just creates that storage space as well as creates the scoreboard and gives you the example base value as well as setting this score here. This is an important score. We'll get to it here in a second. Sets that to 1. Next, our call function. We set our multiplication or mult value back to 1 and then set our output value to 0. This is just to reset it, and then this resets an array called rev. This is what outputs out of this function here. This function here is the reverse input. This takes the array of numbers that you put into the in value and reverses them, essentially. It just makes it backwards. So that's what it does. It prepends the value from the input array to the reverse array, and then we remove the first value, and we just keep doing that until there's nothing left in the input array. So after that, we run our calculation function here. Now this is a recursive math function which stores the current number that is in the first slot of the reversed array into the scoreboard and then removes it. This just shifts that first value into the scoreboard so we can then do some math on it. We multiply that current value by our mult value, our multiplication value, and then we add that current value to our output value. And then right here we have two of the same exact condition. I could just have this and then run a function off of this and run these two commands here, the scoreboard players operation and then the repeat, the looping bit. But since that would call an extra command into this loop, I feel like it would just be unnecessary, so just have the same condition running twice here, because why not, really? But what we're doing is we are taking that mult value and we're multiplying it by the base. Now the reason we're doing that is sort of how you do conversion of a number. So here's my explanation. Let's say we take 2048 and we extrapolate it out to 2048. Now once I run it through that reverse function, we get 8402, and let's say our base is 10. We start out by multiplying 8 times our multiplication value, which is 1 in this case. That's what we start with. So I'm just going to label all of our multiplication values with an M here. So we are multiplying 8 times 1, which then equals 8. We then multiply our mult value by 10, which then makes it equal 10. We multiply 4 times that value, giving us 40. And then we add that to our output value. And then we are taking our next value, which is 10 here, is what this was, multiplying it by 10, giving us 100. Then we're multiplying that 100 by 0, which is what this is here now, which just gives us 0. And then we're multiplying that 100 by 10 again, and then it gives us 1,000, and we're multiplying that 1,000 by 2, because that's what that place is. And then we add all these together, and then that outputs our input value, or our value that we are expecting, which is 2048. So that's the math behind that. Hopefully that makes sense. That's sort of how you do base conversion. If you're doing binary instead, it would be sort of this. Let me switch back over here. It'll be this progression here. So it would be 1, then 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. So that's sort of the math behind that and how it applies to like binary or any other number system. This can convert any number that will fit within the integer limit. So that's that, I guess, just as the decimal to base X converter has the same limitation, it also cannot convert negative numbers. So yeah, that's how that works. Let me show you what I use this for, just as a closure. Let's go ahead and look at in this book and quill here. We have our variable here, and then we have a short variable here that will fit within the integer limit, and then we have a long number here that will not fit within the integer limit. So if I go ahead and run function plain text converter here, that'll output what that is into my extrapolator. So if we do /data get storage ASCII main text, as you can see, that sort of extrapolates it here. This is TS's thing, not mine. So we have an array of numbers here that are all in base 10, especially right here. We have 1, 2, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 0, and then again. So the difference between these, if I run my parser, so run function parser call, and then /data get storage parser main out, as you can see right here, I've taken that those 3 characters, I've converted them into a number similar to this array right here of numbers, and then I run it through the converter so I can have a flattened number instead of an array of single digits. But that's what I use this for. You can use it for whatever you may need to. But yeah, that's how that works. Thanks for watching, and I will catch y'all next time.